Oloo, welcome. We are analyzing politics and stuff like that. Can you tell us who Oloo is?
Okay, thank you very much. I think I'm honored
Yes, sure.
to be invited here because it is not by coincidence that I've come here. It is through invitation, so I thank you for that.
Yes.
Oloo, I'm just like any other normal, simple Kenyan who love politics and is interested in good leadership and governance of any environment, and especially Kenya as a context.
Yeah, sure. We understand that you're a political scientist, and we really know that you can really delve into a lot of these issues. Recently, we have the happenings on Linda Mwananchi and Linda Ground. Are you taking sides?
I'm not taking sides, but since I'm a politician, I have a faction that I believe in their ideologies.
Which one is that?
I am a member of ODM, so I support ODM.
Okay, so both of them are ODM, or you support Oburu, the Oburu's faction of the ODM, or Sifuna faction of the ODM?
Oburu is the party leader of Orange Democratic Movement, ODM.
So you believe in the ideology?
Sifuna is an ODM rebel.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you consider him a rebel? And
I don't consider him. He is a rebel from the context of the party.
Okay. Yes. So what can you tell us about the kind of divisions that have taken place recently?
In Orange Democratic Movement, like I always say, we have political parties. Yes. And any other person who knows, political parties are formed so that they can form government.
Absolutely.
That is why inside political parties, you'll realize we have things like manifestos, things that parties would wish to do to their people. And they can only get resources to do those things to their people if they're formed government. So ODM, to be specific, was formed 20 years ago. And the reason it was formed so that it could form government in 2007. Unfortunately, it did not. So coming now back to your question, the division that is coming out in the party is which direction are we supposed to take as a party? Who are we supposed to support as a party moving forward? Or who are we supposed to negotiate with or form a pre-election pact with so that we can form the next government? But before Raila died, he already gave us a clear direction where we were supposed to go to. As much as it was not very clear where we were supposed to be after elections, but the line was already seen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So for him, maybe he wanted the ODM party and the Luo community to be on the side of the Ruto's regime.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And that's where they're supposed to be right now.
That is where they're
So if in the event that they were to make a pre-election kind of a coalition pact, you would desire them to make it with the current president?
I would desire, and I can even advise them today. The only team or the only person that ODM can form a pre-election pact that is going to give us benefit as members of the party is only UD and William Samuel Ruto.
Oh, okay. We saw what William Ruto did with Gachagua. That a few years down the line, he threw him out. What makes ODM different?
What makes ODM different? You've talked of a person, you've talked of a party. Gachagua supported Ruto as Gachagua. In this case, we are talking as ODM. It means before we sit down to decide that we're going to support Ruto, there must be a memorandum of understanding. Okay. We must write ourselves down that we are going to work together. You'll have to do 1, 2, 3. You'll also do 1, 2, 3. So in an event, you don't do as we agree. Politics, there is a point you can convert. There's a point you diverge if your interests are not moving in the same direction.
Do you believe that Baba did that as LDP with Kibaki?
Political dynamics are always different.
Okay.
The situation that Raila was in 97 when he joined KANU with Moi is quite different with the political dynamics that we have today. Because then Raila was grooming himself to be a kingpin of a given people. So he still needed to be so much energetic, getting into an environment, breaking it to move forward. But in this case, ODM has reached a prime point where it needs to form government to help its people.
Okay.
Yes.
So at that particular point, for him, he only wanted to catapult himself into certain level politically, and not actually for the benefit of his people.
Raila Amolo Odinga and the people is inseparable. But there's Raila Amolo Odinga as a politician. You can have the people, but as a politician, you must also position yourself well to get to that position that you can help the people. So at that point in time, Raila had the people at heart, but he needed to position himself so that he get to a position that one day he can help the people.
Okay, so that's the difference between that time and this whatever we are facing today.
Yes, yes.
So in the event that, let's say, the current administration takes over 2027 and wins the 2027 election, and now again it happens that the same narrative with that has happened to Gachagua now as a person happens to the same as a team now. What do you think actually will be the direction that the country will be taking that?
As a realist, that will be very normal.
Okay, so the probability of that one happening is what, according to maybe your analysis?
It could be 0.1.
Okay, why so?
The reason being, you know, as a party, ODM, when we want to form government, the center of this arrangement is the people.
Absolutely.
Not leadership and power. So when we get post 2027, then we don't see Ruto doing to the people what we agreed. Then we just form another coalition where the people can be at center. So even if we disagree with Ruto after 2027, it will be normal for politics.
Okay.
Yes, because politics, you only come together when you have interests that are coming together. If your interests now begin going different directions, you don't have it emotional. You just go that direction that your interest is going to.
Okay. There are several things that His Excellency the President had promised prior to him being elected into office. We can highlight a few, but which ones do you think that have been implemented so far so good?
One is the housing project.
Okay.
The housing. Because before Ruto got to power, he really talked about affordable housing, settlement. That is one of the things that Ruto has checked into. Number two, Ruto talked about agriculture, solving the food issue of the country. For the first time in history, the maize production has got to 39% increase, because you learned last year by around, was it September, November, December, there was harvesting that was being done at Galana Gulalu. Yes, the project. That project produced enough bags of maize that if stored well and planned well with a given country, then it can sustain food problem. So that is that. Number three, there is the health issue that is having a lot of controversies. But if you dare step into these hospitals and you become a responsible citizen, who one, register for SHA, then you subscribe, then you cannot go to any hospital and you fail to be treated and your bills catered for. But if you're a citizen who has not registered for SHA, you don't subscribe in SHA, then you'll go to an hospital and you'll be treated, then you'll find a way of paying it yourself. So if you are a patriot who subscribe, who register in SHA, then SHA will cater for your bills.
So for whatever he has achieved, he has achieved the SHA for healthcare, and he has achieved accommodation that serves affordable housing.
And agriculture.
Okay. Now, for this affordable housing, maybe it might be a discussion we're going to be having a little maybe later into the conversation, including even the Galana Kulalu and all that.
Yes.
Because maybe myself and maybe our viewers also might be having reservations as far as those things are concerned.
Sure.
Do you think those that he identified, those are the problems of this country?
Yeah, those are the major problems of this country. Because when Ruto was campaigning, he talked to those issues. And the people believed that those are the issues that are affecting them. That is why they elected him to be president.
Okay. So just because a politician says that this is the issue, does that actually make it the issue?
No, it doesn't.
And you believe that whatever you're saying that is the issue that will take you from here to the other side, and this is actually the way you're going to do it. Does actually that one makes it be that actually that is the issue that the common person today is facing?
The things that we're facing are self-explanatory. There are basic things that if a human being doesn't have, then they'll not be comfortable to survive or to stay. So if we are talking about health, if you're talking about agriculture, if you're talking about settlement, those are really issues that are affecting the people directly. Because there's no human being who would survive, who would be comfortable if the health sector is not doing well, if agriculture is not doing well, because you not even have the energy. You get the point? If you don't have housing, you'll not be staying outside. So those are things that are around the people.
Okay.
Yes,
because,
including education.
if you're looking at these particular communities that are being set aside to occupy these houses, these are communities maybe around Kibra and some of the informal settlements. For them, they might be having their bigger challenges. The kids have not gone to school.
Sure.
They're not sure about the next meal.
Sure.
And the issue of accommodation somehow seem to feature last. What do you think?
It is only that we don't arrange priorities and we don't really get to look at behind the curtains. To begin with, why do you think we have people living in a house that is made of mabati, top and on the walls?
That's what they can afford.
They can't afford those other ones.
They can't afford those other ones.
So that is why the government is saying we need to bring affordable housing. Because at the end of the day, you even talk about education and all that, but this person must be within some shelter. You get the point? So that is why the government is saying we need to give them an affordable housing where they'll stay in an environment that they feel safe.
How much are they supposed to pay for those houses?
It depends with...
Let's say, for example, for a studio, a bed sitter.
For a bed sitter.
That's the list, right? There's no single rooms. The list is a studio.
A bed sitter?
Yes.
So it is not going to be expensive finally.
Let's just say, let's just have a technical figure. Maybe 5,000?
5,000, 4,000?
Yes, around there.
Yes.
You're taking this person actually who's been paying 1,500 shillings in their small Mubati house, to now start paying 4,000 shillings. Economically speaking, what do you think will happen in a span of an year?
I want us to be realistic. People who pay 1,500, they don't pay 1,500 because that is what they're supposed to pay. You get the point? We have to accept that we are in a city. And in a city, if you look at even cities all over the world, even if you want to contribute to the economic development of a country or even a city, you can't tell me there can be a house in a city that can go to a tune of 1,500. And there are those that pay 1,500 shillings. But it doesn't mean that is what they're supposed to pay. The condition of that house is so poor to the extent that they should not even be paying it. It should be free instead of even giving that 1,500. Because you go to an environment where there's a house, this side there's no wall, you've taken cartons, you placed there. So it is like you're just outside, you build cartons to sleep in.
So at that particular point that somebody actually can humble themselves to that particular extent of occupying such kind of an habit, an environment, do you think the problem is an accommodation? Is you improving the infrastructure around them, improve their livelihood?
This is an historical problem. The previous regimes have failed. Because you'll ask yourself, how have we reached here? There is some failure behind there. Get the point? If that failure was solved then we could not be in this position. So in solving this situation, we don't look at the people presently. We have to do a diagnosis. Where have these people come from? It is the housing problem. Once that housing problem has been solved, a number of good things will be achieved. Because if housing problem is solved, definitely now there must be a good school there. There must be a good dispensary and hospital there. So by bringing this affordable housing, by bringing this good settlement, or maybe improving the slums, those health sectors, schools will come around. Because settlement come around with things that improves that settlement.
High Rise, you can remember the project High Rise that I think was propagated, must be with Raila Odinga or something in the past, yeah? And the intention was the same, to eliminate slums in these low-income areas. Huh?
Yes.
Whatever it was experienced is that these people took the same property, rented them out, and it became another source of income. It became another source of income for them. And they went back to the slums. How often, how much do you think the likelihood of that actually happening again?
The likelihood is close to zero. The reason being, you know, that thing happened because it was a plan of government to improve the slums. But the government did not come out very strongly to do it. Because in the Grand Coalition government, when we had Raila PM and Kibaki the president, that was an agenda. It was a policy of government. They wanted to improve the slums. And the issue of improvement of slums and even settlement is an issue that we had even at independence. You get the point? So when Raila tried this, the reason it failed, the government did not fully support it. It was not a priority for those that were in government then, apart from Raila, who was championing for it. The difference with the present time, the vision bearer of the country, the president, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, is the driver in this. So it means the president has a goodwill to improve the slums and build affordable housing. So the success rate for me is close to 100%.
Okay, so as in how do you think that they're going to deal with defaulters? Let's say, for example, the person actually who gets into it and at some point, they are, for one reason or another, they're not unable to continue to play.
Defaulters are everywhere. So defaulters should not make us not have a good project.
Okay.
But we can have mechanisms through which we handle the issues of defaulters.
Okay. I would have wished that maybe that such kind of things are also being laid forward so early in the day, so that anybody actually who subscribe to it knows exactly what they're getting into.
Sure.
Okay. It is good for us to just get into the politics of the day. And there is a statement that has been made by Mbadi.
Yes.
And he somehow narrated an entire history, a very emotional kind of, but he mentioned that in Luo.
Yeah.
Maybe will you just take us through what Mbadi is saying and maybe what it means to the Luo community?
There's one thing that is called, there's ideology. Personally, I'm a realist. I look at things with the lens of reality, not being emotional or maybe subjective. And the speech by Mbadi was a reality, something on the table that very many people fear talking about, because there are issues that if they're talked about, they touch emotions. You get the point? So Mbadi is just one of the few people who can talk to those real issues that are going to excite emotions. Because if you look at the whole of that speech, it was very emotional, but all the issues he talked about are reality. There are things that if you go back to history, you'll confirm them. But people fear talking about them because they'll bring division, they'll excite emotions, but they are reality.
When he says that it's only one tribe that has never voted a Luo in, and that's the tribe that has never wished a Luo to be president or get anything good, what do you think he's referring to?
One, that is a reality. He's very honest. Then this is what he's referring to. Kenyan politics has always been a politics of coalitions, alliances.
Sure.
You get the point?
Sure.
And the politics of Kenya surrounds communities. That is why you'll realize almost all communities have people that we call kingpins or queenpins. Then again, you'll realize our political parties are formed around communities. You get the point? So when Mbadi is saying that there's one single community who has never voted a leader from the Luo, and he said the Kikuyu, that is a reality. Because one, Raila Odinga had formed an alliance with Kibaki. That is in 2002 to form the NAC government. Get the point? Raila supported Kibaki, and it is Raila who said Kibaki tosha. the Luos left one of their own, Bob James Orengo, who stood for presidency then, and supported Mwai Kibaki because Raila Amolo Odinga told them, this is the way. You get the point? At independence, we all know, the white man approached Oginga Odinga and told Oginga Odinga, it is time, take power. Oginga Odinga, I'm told he said, I cannot take power up to the point that our leader Mzee Kenyatta has been released so that he can take power. And indeed it happened that way. 2 years down the line, Oginga was off power. ODM, Raila Amolo Odinga and the Luo community at one point formed...
He was betrayed. That off power means that he was...
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
The same thing that happened to Raila immediately. They formed government in 2003.
Okay.
Yes. Their positions or maybe their agreements that they had that were not successful. For example, even the constitution. We had the Bomas draft and the draft that Kibaki wanted to bring with these people. So you get the point. When we came to 2007, you know what happened? It was the whole of Kenya against Kibaki and a few people who were supporting him. But still, Kibaki took power by force. You get the point? So at no point, even you go back to even 1992, when Ford, Restoration for Democracy, was formed, the official leader of Ford was Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. You get the point? Ford was going against KANU. After the repeal of Section 2A, now we got to multi-party democracy.
That's true.
So Oginga Odinga formed Ford together with other leaders to face Moi at the 1992 elections.
Yeah.
At that point in time, Kenneth Matiba was away. He was not in the country. His health was not good. At that point in time, the Luos, the Kikuyu'S were in the opposition because Moi had sent both of them to the opposition. So they had a unity of convenience at that point in time because all of them were fighting Moi. But now when it came to the critical point that now Oginga Odinga was going to contest with Ford, the original Ford, for presidency, and he was going to take power, Kenneth Matiba was brought back to the country and split Ford to Ford Asili, Oginga remaining with Ford, Kenya. When we went to an election, the opposition went to an election, a divided opposition. Moi passed and succeeded. So historically, the reality will tell you that anytime the Luo community and the Kikuyu'S have joined hands and they have gone to an election, the Luos have supported the Kikuyu'S. At no point have the Luos and the Kikuyu'S got into a unity pact and they've gone to election and they've supported the Luo community fully like the Luo community always does. Practically 2022, Uhuru said he was supporting Raila. And in fact, Uhuru gave Raila Martha Karua. We even betrayed Kalonzo Musyoka. If you look at what happened, even in the polling station of Martha Karua, Raila was not voted. Ichaweri, where Uhuru Kenyatta is coming from, there were no votes. Raila almost got 12%, in fact it was around 13% from the whole of Mount Kenya. And remember, this is one guy who stabilized your government. When Ruto had taken that government going with it, Raila came in to strengthen that government. When Uhuru Kenyatta promised Raila, no, we are going to support you, they never supported Raila Amolo Odinga. So what Buddy is talking about are facts on the ground that most of us fear talking about because they'll excite emotions, they'll divide the people. But leave alone even that. In 1965, Martha Karua is on record saying this, that there was an oath that was taken, that one, the presidency should not go to the Luo community. These are not my words. This is Martha Karua's words. You get the point? So they sat down, they took an oath that no presidency or no person from the Luo can become the president. You get the point? So these are reality that somebody is talking about. There are things on the ground that if you honestly go back to history, you'll find them there. It is only that the young people currently, or the rest of us who are playing politics today, we forget about the history and want to only focus on the present issues. Yes.
What do you think can be a solution to that, to all this?
In my view, this is politics. The solution is here, having just correct alliances so that you form government. Because you cannot solve this issue of the Kikuyu'S had betrayed the Luos. These are political differences.
Okay, also putting it this way, understand, personally I'm a millennial, and also that politics of the regions still does not play so well in my mind.
Sure.
Just looking at it, why do we need a Luo president?
We don't need a Luo president. We don't need a Luo president. We need a president who can serve the people. A president who will defend and support and follow the constitution. But we cannot forget that in getting this president, this country that this president is going to lead is a regional country. That is one. It is a political country. It is a party country, because our constitution recognizes Kenya as a multi-party democracy. It recognizes Kenya as a regional country. It recognizes Kenya as a tribal country. So that is why we don't need a Luo president, but in finding that president that is going to serve the interest of the people, the tribes must be talked about, because the constitution recognizes Kenya to be so. Yes.
Maybe if I could put it this way, why don't we need a Luo president?
We must need a Luo president also. You cannot put it negative that why must we not need. We must also need a Luo president.
Let me just now maybe try to be the devil's advocate, try to reason like maybe our brothers from the mountain.
Yes.
What do you think scares them about the Luos?
In my view, what scares them with the Luo is that the Luos are aggressive.
What is it that they're going to do that any other tribe cannot?
I think is going to make things in black and white, things that are hidden. Because, for example, one of the departure points of Kenyatta 1 and Odinga 1 is putting things in black and white. They disagreed on issues of land. They disagreed on issues of ideologies. You get the point. So that got into the head of such people. They thought now any other person of such character will be exposing things that we really feel should not be exposed. So in my view, I think they fear the honesty in the Luo culture.
In the event that a Luo one day picks up to be a president, let's say just a honest Luo, not maybe because the Luo community there might also be deviants, but let's say we have a Luo president into the future, and he is honest and everything is on the table. Who benefits?
When a Luo becomes the president, it is not the Luo that is going to lead. It is the person that is going to lead. But the Luo name and the Luo culture might have contributed in their success. So if me, Omondi Oloo, become the president, I'm not going to lead as a Luo. But maybe I enjoyed the support of the Luo together with other people to become the president.
Yeah.
So if a Luo becomes the president, it is just like any other community person can become the president. But now it ends and stops with the person who is there. So that person who is there, if he becomes the president, the people need to benefit.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I'm just asking is that now who, because if at all there is a part of the country that scares when they hear that this community is able to ascend to power, don't you think that when things are open, they benefit more?
It's not about them benefiting more. When I'm talking about things being open here, I'm talking about equity. Equitable distribution of resources. Equitable development. Equitable appointment of positions. Equitable opportunities. Not only to the Luo, but to the rest of Kenya. You can imagine if you go to Tana River, there's a bridge that gets from this other side of Tana River to the other side. And that bridge got spoiled sometime back in Uru's regime. You can imagine the building of that bridge costed only 100 million. When Badi became the Minister of Finance, he took some resources there, then that bridge was made. And that bridge, since it was spoiled, children could not go to school. But you realize there are environments that millions and billions of children, certain roads that had not even been tarmacked, even maraming had not been done. Then you realize there's a region that had been pumped for billions of money to a tune of 6 billion when Uhuru was exiting government. You call them Mau Mau roads. And you know, in development of a country, when a government pumps resources to a given environment, that resource that they have pumped, the idea is it should bring back something to the government. For example, now Dr. William Sambweru is saying we need to have the Rironi Road. We need to expand it. The economic benefit of it is that it is going to open the western part of Kenya so that they can improve their economy, they can get into business, they can get into agriculture, then the products, the resources that they get from such can be brought back to the market. Where is the market? The city, the airport, the port, then finally even to outside the country. But when that road is not made better, it is going to hinder transportation of resources down from the ground to the market. Therefore, that region is locked. So when I'm talking about opening things, it's just equitable distribution of resources.
Like right now, more, let's say a bigger chunk of the Luo society community seem to be leaning towards the broad-based government, a perception though. They still take their fish to companies in Thika to this day.
Yes.
What plans do Ruto have with that?
Now look at the funny part of it. Lake Victoria is in the former Western Province. Lake Victoria is in Nyanza Province. But the processing factory is in Kiambu County, the former Central Province. There is no clear connection between the lake and where the factory is. It means there is poor mode of transport. So what happens? You are killing the economy in that level because the fishermen would produce the fish, but they'll not have enough resources to transport the fish to take. So you'll realize cartels and Wababe are the ones who will be having money to go and pick that fish and fly it or transport it to Thika. So it means it has killed the local fishermen on the ground. So Ruto has done this. One, to improve an economy of a given area, you first of all open that area. That is road network, rail network. After you've opened that area, then now you improve whatever thing they're doing on the ground. So Ruto already has an idea of opening the area. That is why we have the Rironi Road. That is why he's also talking about taking the railway line all the way to Malaba. After that is done, now you come to the activity they're doing. When the broad-based government was formed, the first thing Ruto did, he went to Nyanza, then made what is called fish landing sites. These fish landing sites was to improve the production of fish. So once the production of fish has been improved, we cannot immediately take the factory from Thika to Nyanza. So what will happen? The production of fish has improved. The infrastructure, the road has been opened. The fish can go to the factory. Slowly by slowly or gradually, now we shall build a factory down there.
How long should that take?
It is not the issue of how long. It is the issue of, do we have the honesty and the goodwill to do it? It's not about how long. It can even take 5 years. It can even take 10 years, depending on the plans that we have as a people.
Why do you think that Ruto is passionate about the Luo community today than he was earlier?
Ruto is so passionate about the Luo community today than later. One, because he has seen, and everybody needs to see, that for a very long time, not even the Luo community, I don't like talking about it to the context of the Luo community, the western part of Kenya have been behind in terms of getting government resources. So ideally, Ruto is not so focused on the Luo community, but the Luo communities are positively responding. So that makes him attractive to them, looking at now the political side. Ruto is opening the western part of Kenya, including Rift Valley, the former Western Province, and the Nyanza. But in that opening, you realize the Luo people get excited. Oh, this person has remembered us. So we need also to thank him. That is why now you realize the bond between Ruto and the Luo is coming so strong.
If I give you a position like the position of the Minister for Energy, but I gave you my own directions on what to do. Do you think that whatever ambition that you are having as a person, having gotten to that position, will make sense?
Pardon?
What I mean is this. Sometimes communities are enticed by appointments of leaders.
Sure.
Now, let's say like Opiyo Wandayi is the Minister for Energy. But directions are coming from and well monitored by the Ruto administration that this is the direction.
Yes.
Are you not seeing a scenario whereby we are 5 years later and nothing in terms of provision of energy has been done in even Wandayi's area?
I want to talk to two things. One, a government is structural. A government has hierarchies. As much as you're a minister of any given ministry, but remember the appointing authority is the head of the executive, that is the president. In the appointment of CSS, the president sits down and look at an individual who can help them achieve the vision that they have with the country. You get the point? So when you get to that position, you have to follow the constitution. But sometimes you have to listen to the appointing authority. So when Opiyo Wandayi is energy minister or energy CS, remember that position was there even before Opiyo Wandayi came in. So when Ruto came to government, he had what he wanted to achieve with the issue energy. So Opiyo getting to that position, at all the times, or at most times, he needs also to consult the appointing authority. But that notwithstanding, I don't think in the next 5 years, we're not going to have any difference in terms of electrification on the ground. Because as we are speaking currently, as much as it is not aired live on televisions or maybe the social media networks that we have, but there is something that is going on in terms of rural electrification.
Okay, so you feel like the Luo Nyanza and the western part of the country are benefiting more than they could without Wandayi as the minister? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so that means that these appointments have a lot of merit.
Appointments must have merits. All appointments, I always believe appointments have merits. Because before we go to personality, there are qualifications to be a CS. You get the point? So the difference would come, you qualified for that position, but you failed. So that doesn't mean that you did not qualify to get that position. You get the point? Yes.
You as the president, would you have appointed Honorable Joho as a minister for mining in your administration, you as a person?
Yes, I would appoint him.
What history does he have with mining?
What history does he have with money?
Mining. You know, let's say you appoint somebody, you want somebody in the Ministry of Education, somebody who has maybe a track record in along those areas, and you remember that the new constitution somehow anticipates these persons appointed in these positions to be technocrats, right?
Sure.
In your administration, you still will choose Joho?
I would appoint Joho very fast. Why? You know, a cabinet secretary is a policy maker. He carries the policy of a ministry.
Are you sure that's...
Yes, because the PS is the finance officer. In the same ministry, we have people that I call directors that check now on the real issue. The vision of a ministry is carried by that CS. It doesn't mean that now a CS, for you to be appointed minister of mining, you must have done something to do with the soil. No. We have people specifically. You know, a minister is a political appointee. People must differentiate. That is a political appointee to help the president push the vision in that ministry.
Why do we do vetting for them?
We have to do vetting for them because it is a public office.
What are the kind of questions that you were anticipating vetting when you are being vetted for such kind of a high-ranked position?
One, the knowledge about such a ministry.
Just technical knowledge, grapevines, and the ESS you've had, or certified?
It is one
knowledge and approved track record in that.
Technical knowledge, not track record and approval. For you to be a minister, you just need to have a given academic qualification. I want to believe it is a degree. Once you have that, you can be in any of these ministries. Once you have the understanding of how operations can take place in that ministry. But you'll realize inside that ministry, we have qualified professionals in that line. If you go to the Ministry of Education, for example, or you go to the Ministry of Interior, for example, you'll realize inside the Ministry of Education, you'll have directors that have done education, they have done policing of education. So they're the ones who will be guiding in terms of structures, how such a department is supposed to run.
Okay.
But the CS is the leader of that environment. What is needed mostly, it has the knowledge.
Okay, I'm just trying I'm reasoning it out. I'm not disputing whatever you're saying.
Yes.
I'm trying to just reason out of the box. Let's say, for example, a bank. This is a financial organization.
Sure.
And now they want to appoint a CEO. A CEO, actually, at the CEO level, yes, you need the leadership part of it. If you are one of the shareholders, would you desire somebody with zero track records in banking ever in their life to come and head that particular organization as the CEO?
Who is a CEO first? Chief Executive Officer.
Absolutely.
So if he's a Chief Executive Officer, this, in other words, would be somebody who is overseeing things in that environment. To be specific, if it is a bank, or if it is the Ministry of Finance, Treasury, for that position, I must pick somebody who is a professional in that environment. The reason being is going to deal with the practical thing. Get the point? The difference with this other ministry is that these other ministries, you don't deal with the practical thing.
I might depart, just for the benefit of our viewers.
Yes.
Somehow I might depart from that analogy this way, just humbly.
Sure.
When a document is brought to my attention to sign as the leader or a custodian of policy, like you mentioned it to be, something that I read as just sign here, and the few statements that gives a declaration, might be building up a lot of other laws behind it that might friction and might interact, that if at all I don't have a very clear understanding, that maybe an environmental law here, a mining law here, and I merge all of them. If I don't have that I'm waiting for only guidance, then I easily stand to be misled, or I easily stand to misrepresent the electorate at those high levels. That's why I continue to maybe ask, in this high level, why don't we desire the best in that particular field?
I still stand with my point. They are the best for now.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that we don't have other people who can do what they're doing.
Maybe they needed, the president needed political capital or something. By appointing people who seem like to be politicians and...
You know, politics, leadership, and governance is one thing.
Okay.
None can be independent of its own.
Okay.
So when you're talking about leadership, governance, politics must also be there. I told you that some of these appointments, they're political appointments.
Sure.
You get the point? Because before you become the president, you're a politician who have the vision that they want to achieve. And you have people that you're working with, or people that you're seeing that can help you achieve that at the end of the day. People that you can work with better. And in working with them, you cannot forget that how can they also help you achieve your political power? You get the point? So in appointing Joho to serve the people, Ruto cannot forget that this is also another individual. If he works well, he can also be a political power to help me improve my political strength.
Okay. Just to maybe add some gist to it, in 2002, this was a very, very heated kind of a presidential election between Baba and Ruto. And a majority of people, probably from your region, might have considered Ruto a very bad person, and they mentioned a lot of things on corruption.
When you say my region, what do you mean?
From I presume that maybe you come from Luo Nyanza or something?
Yes, I'm a Luo.
Not necessarily a Luo,
yes,
but
yes.
you come from the Luo Nyanza.
Yes.
Yes. So a majority of people from that Luo Nyanza, and during that, because Baba also comes from there, they consider Ruto a very corrupt person and a very bad person for leadership. When did that change?
Nobody from that region considered Ruto bad personally. Ruto, in comparison to Raila is better. So when you have Raila here and you have Ruto here, Raila is good, is better, because in comparison, in terms of character, you'd realize there are things that you can attribute to Raila in terms of corruption and all that, that at the level of Raila, Ruto could not be there. But that doesn't mean that now, Ruto compared with another level is going to be another Satan. You get the point? At that point,
So lesser evil.
yes, at that point, people were comparing Ruto to Raila. So the people from that region, in terms of the analysis, they felt Raila was better. Therefore, Ruto is not better. Now, currently, Ruto has not changed. It's still the same Ruto. But is Ruto in a different position? That one was a Ruto as deputy president. Now Ruto as the president, the person who is in charge of resources. You get the point? Why do we do politics? Why do we support leaders? So that we can get resources. Okay. It's not whether you're good or bad. Are you in a position to ensure the people get what they need?
Okay.
So they are celebrating Ruto because at least Ruto has given them what they need from a government that now Ruto is leading.
When they say that Ruto was corrupt then, did you believe them?
I know today that Ruto is corrupt. At one point he was corrupt, I know.
Do you believe in this principle that you cannot strike a good deal with the bad guys?
I don't.
You don't believe in that principle?
I don't believe in such principle because who is the bad guy?
Maybe a corrupt guy.
So,
corrupt person, a good person?
Corrupt person is not a good person.
Okay.
But who is a liar? A liar is not also a good person.
Is Ruto a liar?
I'm a liar. You're a liar. Ruto is a liar. So then we are all in the bracket of bad people. So is it wrong for bad people to sit together and talk? Because they are birds of a feather. They flock together. Okay. Yes.
So you believe like Ruto, whatever he says, he lies and all that at that particular level of expectations of integrity at high levels, it is okay because we all liars.
No, you've not understood me. What I'm trying to say is this, in black and white. There's no difference with modern Kenyan and Ruto. We are all the same.
Okay.
The difference is Ruto is in position of leadership. We expect him to deliver. We expect him to serve the people.
Sure.
Because we've given him a responsibility and he should serve the people.
Oh, okay.
And in serving the people, people look at leadership differently. And like I told you at the beginning, Kenya is a regional country. And when it is a regional country, these regions have different interests at given times. What the people from Coast as a priority now is not what the people from maybe Masai Land is a priority for now. So you'd realize they'll be looking at a government differently in terms of what is affecting them at that point in time.
Sure.
You get the point? Somebody from Luo Nyanza today could be crying deeply that I cannot get benefit from my fish. That one doesn't make sense to somebody who is in Mount Kenya. Somebody in Mount Kenya will tell you, Bana, my coffee is not doing well. You get the point? So if the government is not doing something good to their coffee, they'll be saying the government is not serving me. You get the point? So these people, these regions have different priorities. That is why a government needs to have equitable distribution of resources. So that you give these people things that they need. Yes, that is why there must be civic education, public participation. So that as a government you go to the ground, then you also listen to the people. What do they need? What are their priorities?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you so much, Omondi. We are taking a little break. I think when we are coming back, I would wish us to delve even deeper into the issues of affordable housing, among others, and still the happenings in the political space today.
Sure.
Taking a
Thank
short
you.
break. Yeah. So welcome back again, Omondi. So we were supposed to talk at least a little more about this affordable housing before maybe we delve into other current affairs that are proceeding within the country.
Kenya, the land that we have in Kenya is a public land.
Sure.
So when you talk about a private citizen owning a property in a public land, for me it is very simple.
Okay.
This property that we're talking about has been financed by the public, the private citizen that you talked about.
Sure.
So it means that private citizen is building their nation.
Okay.
So when they're building their nation, anything that is built in that nation will directly benefit them.
Okay.
So from where I sit, I think it is just normal arithmetics of we are in a nation, we are building our nation. The resources in our nation are ours because we build such resources.
So at some point they can be able to surrender it back to the government because you've built a nation. What do you think?
Yeah, to some extent, if there's any agreement.
Oh, okay. But you remember, these are low-income persons that are really toiling the land so hard for them to get that. Huh?
That is true. That is why you realize, though I don't have the exact what needs to be signed, but before you pick that house, there's some writings that must be done here. So those such writings is what is linking you to the house or maybe the resource that is there. In case of any departure, we shall come back to that writing.
Okay.
Yes.
So at that particular point, who will be the custodian? Who do you run to when things are not working?
We have the courts.
Oh, okay, the courts are able to make the decisions.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Would you advise somebody to go for those items, the
affordable housing
items? Let's say, for example, you are like your offsprings or your relatives. So do you want to advise them to go for them?
Yes.
What about the risk exposure?
There's risk exposure, yes. But comparatively for me, the risks are low there than where we are currently.
Do you think that the government could have done better by just while you stimulate the economy to the extent that just people build their own houses?
Yeah, they need to do better. Okay, my position is this. It doesn't mean that now the government has done what it ought to do. There are loopholes in the affordable housing thing. I can't oppose the affordable housing because the idea is a very, very good idea.
Sure.
The problem would come on how to implement the idea, how to bring the idea to the people. But the idea, affordable housing, is one of the best ideas. We can only disagree, and there are even areas that, if I look at it carefully, I can disagree with the government on how they are doing it.
Okay.
Yes, but the idea, the affordable housing, is one of the best.
Okay. Now, I would wish us just to let go of that and maybe focus on maybe the happenings of the day. We were talking about the two factions of ODM, and in the current happenings, we've seen Sifuna and Tim on the other side. What's your making of Sifuna and the team and the progress they're making so far?
For me, it is very simple.
Yeah.
In politics, there are some times that we call times for scramble and partition. You know, we have the leaders and we have the people. What gives the political leaders strength is the people.
Sure.
Before the death of Raila Odinga, almost everybody was Raila's person. The event that came that Raila now exited the scene, he left a vacuum. In leaving this vacuum, people must struggle to occupy that vacuum. That is ideally what is happening in the political space. So you realize Raila left ODM, people must replace Raila. And in replacement of Raila, it's not only the party, but it is the people. So the struggle here is the people and political positioning. In ODM, Sifuna is already seeing himself not being accommodated. You get the point?
Yeah.
And there are those in ODM and any other political party. Now take ODM out of the picture. Now have any political party in a political field. When the leader is off, people will struggle to take over. And in that struggle, you can either remain inside or you can be left, you can be kicked out to take a better position. But that notwithstanding, to be specific now to the party, I still believe that in the struggle in ODM, Sifuna is not honest.
Okay.
Babu Owino is not honest. Bob James Orengo is not honest. Maybe Caleb Amisi, I'm not very sure, because he's one guy that I've not seen much that he does in party politics. But Edwin Sifuna, Bob James Orengo, Babu Owino, they are not honest to the party angle.
Okay.
The reasons are this. Before Raila Amolo Odinga died, ODM was in the opposition, ideally, though our constitution do not recognize opposition. But it was in the minority. Then the 2024 Gen Z protest came. Ruto's government was shaken. They had an agreement with Raila. If you remember very carefully, when Raila and Dr. William Samoei Ruto were at KICC, the few individuals that were called to the executive podium, the VIP, one of them was Edwin Sifuna from Orange Democratic Movement. Another one was Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. Why were they being called there? They are part of those that took part in the signing. The working agreement between ODM and UDA, Edwin Sifuna participated in signing it. You get the point. And what was this agreement? It was a working agreement to 2027, not post, to. It means ODM and UDA ought to work together up to 2027. After 2027, we form another agreement. If our marriage was good, then we can move forward. If the marriage was not good, we can part ways. You get the point? And what was in the agreement? The 10-point agenda. One of the things in the 10-point agenda was compensation of this group of people, that some of them were maimed, some of them were killed during those protests.
Sure.
The first group of people that opposed such compensation was the likes of Edwin Sifuna, was the likes of Babu Owino, and even the former president, LSK, Faith Odhiambo, who was even appointed to the position of chairlady. Akakata, she left. So, this compensation was one of the things that Raila Amolo Odinga and Dr. William Ruto signed, that ODM and UDA were to work to, so that at the end of the day, these people could be compensated. And Ruto already formed even a committee. People ran to the courts that that committee is illegal. So Ruto wants to compensate because that was the agreement between ODM and UDA, and they're telling him not to. Then again, you're complaining Ruto is not following the 10-point agenda. Where are we? We're dishonest. So it is abdacadabra here, confusing the public so that we can align ourselves to get a following. That is what is happening. It's not ideological here. The reason being, look at even the rally at Kitengela. Look at the rally that was in Tononoka. Look at the rally that was in Siaya. Look at the rally that was in Kakamega. Were there issues being discussed? It was not issues. It was just a scramble and partition of the people. So that the people can get confused, so that they still control the masses. But I can say very confidently, Edwin Sifuna doesn't have the interest of the people at heart. He's only positioning himself politically. Yes. And very soon you'll see it coming out. I give them only 2 to 3 weeks. Yes.
That is after Ramadan will not be having that faction.
It will be there, but with a little wait. It is not the first time they are joining together. At one point, they were one Kenya. Oh, you've forgotten? Yes. At one point, they were one Kenya. Today, I don't know what. Today, they are CC Nisifuna. At that time, they were one Kenya. They flopped. The CC is Nisifuna. In fact, the test is already lost.
Amongst the 10-point agendas, apart from the issue of the compensation, and first of all, for the compensation, does this also include the Gen Zs who were killed? or is only the political victims during the Maandamano for Baba?
It is from 2017 to 2024. So
Oh,
it
okay.
means it
They also
included.
covered that.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I think I have maybe disrupted my line of thought.
We were talking about Sifuna and the ODM faction.
Yes. So now for Sifuna, now that he has forged a new way forward, do you think he can make his own party?
Yes, Sifuna can make his own party. And that party can be powerful.
Okay.
And it can be strong.
Do you think that he represents the youth?
He's already made to represent the youth.
Okay.
He's made to, but he doesn't.
Okay.
Yes.
What is it that Sifuna says that makes him dishonest?
What Sifuna says that make him dishonest is one, you know, Sifuna, I look at Sifuna in different angles. Sifuna is an elected senator. If you look at almost all the speeches of Sifuna, you realize only 20% is talking about the county government of Nairobi. The rest of the statements of Sifuna are just, mimi ndio Sifuna, katibu mkuu wa chama cha ODM.
That's introduction, right?
Yes. And it surrounds that. There's nothing that Sifuna says in terms of touching on the people. Sifuna is not talking to issues. Sifuna is talking to what I call euphorias, to balkanize a people, to sing a given tune, not talking to a point of issues. That is why you realize all the rallies that they've had, they have never been structural. They are street kind of, so that we don't talk to issues, but we talk to euphorias. Get the point?
In Kakamega, they mentioned that Manatuhua, is that part of an issue? It has been a big issue.
Manatuhua, is that an issue? Nani Manatuhua?
Then the government has been killing young people. And we've been seeing each and every rally, at least our life is taken.
We are failing to be dishonest. We are failing to be dishonest. Why do you think that in Siaya, and we are in Kakamega, people were in Tononoka, people were in Kitengela? Why was nobody not killed in Tononoka?
Because this government is pro-government.
It is pro-government. So that gentleman who was killed in Kitengela, Vincent Oyamo, the government know him in person.
Not at all, but at least a killing where the government does not have a...
So let me ask you, if Vincent Oyamo would have been Tononoka, he would have been killed?
Not at all.
So why was he killed in Kitengela?
Because the government wants to send a message that these people are dangerous. Don't go.
So it means it is not Vincent who is dangerous?
No, is okay. According to how I look at it, is that the government want to make the rally of anybody actually who expresses dissent to be unsafe, and that perception to go out there so that they are unable to get audience.
Today, Rigathi Gachagua was in just here. Was it thrown with tear gas?
But we've seen him attacked before.
Let me tell you. At one point, Sonko said something that people still don't want to accept, and it happens in the political space. Sonko at one point said that we could print ODM t-shirts. We could pick old vehicles. Then we put them on the road. Then we pick our boys dressed in ODM t-shirts to ban such vehicles. To send a message that one, ODM is violent, ODM is chaotic, ODM is destructive. You get the point? So politicians are very funny people. To create sympathy and attract the people, they can do what you cannot imagine. For example, in Kitengela or in Kakamega, if you look at even the video of how the tear gas came out, it was in the middle of the people.
It's dangerous.
In the middle of the people. In Kakamega, it was next to the podium. And if you look at that environment before the tear gas came out, did you see any police officer? There was none. Do you have even a video where that tear gas canister has been thrown, it is running through the air, coming to fall to the people? Have you seen any? What you only see, a smoke coming from the middle of the people, then people dispersing. What happens? It is a script. You get the point? You pick your guys, you look for tear gas, then in the middle of the crowd, you blow it off. Then you blame the police because everybody knows that it is the police that is the custodian of the tear gas. Have you seen where the police have thrown the tear gas? It is coming, coming to fall in the middle of the people. In that case, or in that event, in that crowd, it could have even knocked somebody's head before it fell down. But in this case, we are seeing it on the ground. And where it is, somebody was standing there. So how did it reach there before knocking this person to reach there? Number two, when you're in Kakamega, the tear gas was closer to the podium. And by the time the tear gas came out, it is Sifuna who was speaking. If you listen to what he said, funikeni hiyo kitu, funika na jacket, that immediately happened. So why do you think that ilikuwa imefunikwa? If the police threw it, ingeshtua kila mtu na kila mtu angekimbia. There was nobody who could be even having the confidence kwenda kuifunika because watu wangechanganyikiwa. But in this case,
call those people back. People are already dispersing.
But the few individuals who knew the script remained there. The general public don't know what is happening. This can be done by 2-5 people. Yes. Wakishafunika, the people will come back because they think, oh, our savior has closed it for us. Let's go back. Yes. That is purely it.
So you believe that it was choreographed?
That is what I know.
What about those people who were almost beaten?
You know, once there's chaos and confusion, people must disagree. Yes. And in a public rally, once people are together, there are those who, if you try have an identifying opinion from what the majority are saying, you'll be beaten. So pick your side. That is why in politics, you need alignment. That is why in politics, there's no black. You either hot or cold. So if you're warm, you'll always be beaten because you'll want to be everywhere. Yes.
Do you think Sifuna in one or the other can make a good president? Let's say, for example, Shuli, in one or the other, just find himself like Obama.
Sifuna can make a very good president, but
Why?
not now. Yeah. The reason being, Sifuna is learned, he's wise, he's smart, he's knowledgeable, he's informed, he's not corrupt. Yes. So he can make a good president.
Obama was told the same.
From what?
If you can remember the presidential debates, he was told that he's a great, he can make a very good president, but not now.
And indeed,
he became probably a good number of people believe that he is the best president that happened to the Americans.
Yes.
So why not Sifuna?
Yeah, Sifuna can also make a good president, but in the future, not now.
Obama was told in the future.
Yes, and indeed in the future he became president.
That was a presidential debate that he was being told that.
Maybe, but for me, for now, Sifuna can be a president in the future and he can make a good president.
Why not now?
Now he's not ready, he's not prepared, he's not fully baked for the presidency. Bado kona moto. The blood is still hot. The president.
Do you resonate with what he says?
I don't fully resonate with what he's saying because I've not heard what he's saying. In terms of ideologies, in terms of issues, in terms of philosophies, I've not heard that.
What issues would you wish Sifuna address?
I would wish Sifuna to talk to economic issues.
Okay.
I would wish Sifuna to talk to the issues development. I would wish Sifuna to talk the issues of agriculture.
What is development?
I would wish to talk Sifuna to talk about good governance.
Okay.
He has not talked about good governance. He's a senator of Nairobi County who is supposed to be ensuring that Nairobi County does what it's supposed to be doing. He has failed. Because Nairobi County is one of the failing counties in this nation. Number two, issues development. He's a senator. He's in position of leadership. He can influence power to attract employment for some young people instead of taking them to the streets to be killed by the police. Sifuna need to be talking about issues economy. He's not talking about issues economy. Sifuna needs to be talking about issues agriculture. In fact, if Sifuna comes from a sugar belt region, I've never heard him talk about sugar. How sugar can be, how sugar farming can be brought to the next level. But he can talk about, mimi ni Sifuna, katibu mkuu wa chama cha ODM. Leave that aside, then talk about issues.
Why do you think he has served for that long? 8 years. It's the longest serving.
John Mbadi also served for 11 years as the chair of ODM. What you've never known with ODM is that if you're loyal to the party and you do what the party wants, then you can be in your position for a very long time. That is why before the late Otieno Kajwang died, he said that loyalty, faithfulness, and fidelity shall be number one consideration in getting a position in the party. Because it is that loyalty, that faithfulness, and being fidel to that party is what is going to take that party to the next level. But that doesn't mean that after serving even for over 50 years, at one point you cannot default. You can. You get the point? So the years before, Sifuna was talking to the issues of what the party needs. Today is a rebel of the party because the mainstream party is following this direction. You are following that direction. It means you've diverged in terms of your interest and your ideas. So you have to part ways.
What has he mentioned different from the other years?
Sifuna has mentioned so many things that are different.
Give me 3.
One, ODM as a party believed in social, economic, and political justice. Before the broad-based government, ODM has been fighting for this, but on the streets. ODM came back and recollected, and we agreed as a party, moving forward, we need not only to fight for social, economic, and political justice from the streets. Raila taught us to have dialogue. These issues can be talked about on a table, and we can see where the problem is. Then we get a solution to the problem. But in this case, you realize Sifuna is going against that and telling us to go back to the streets, and in that streets is where our boys and girls have always been killed. Then he's taking us there. Then when we are killed there, he's blaming people to have killed us.
Has he said people to go to the street?
They have said a number of times. He said a number of times. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me just ask, if Sifuna mentions the things that he was mentioning when Baba was still there, do you think that he remained exposed because Baba now is not there?
What you need to understand with Baba, it doesn't mean that when Sifuna was saying these things when Baba was alive, that was the position of Baba.
Baba said it himself.
A number of times I know Baba said. But Baba was one kind of a person from my own observation. Resilient and very patient. You get the point? So when Sifuna was saying these things when Baba was alive, it doesn't mean that Baba at one point was not disagreeing with those issues. And I remember Baba saying that Sifuna akisema kitu amesema what the party is saying. And again, he has also said his opinion. You get the point? At that point, when Baba was alive, Sifuna occasionally was talking about the 10-point agenda, which was the position of the party. But if you realize the speech of Sifuna before Baba died and what Sifuna is saying today, there are two different things. It's only that we still have one. The difference is this. At that point, Sifuna would talk issues that are within the party. For example, we need the 10-point agenda to be looked into. Today, since Sifuna was thrown out of SG, he has not talked about the 10-point agenda.
He has?
I've not heard him.
Okay.
I've seen him in 3 rallies. The Busia rally, he went there before he was taken out. I've seen his rally in Kitengela. I saw his rally in Kakamega yesterday. All those 3 main rallies that I've seen Sifuna in, have not heard him talk about the 10-point agenda. I've only heard him talk about.
Kakamega he did.
I've only heard him talk about one term.
We can check that. In Kakamega he did. He mentioned that in 10-point agenda was one of them was that the freedom of expression and throwing tear gas at people at a rally like that is not part of what was agreed. He mentioned that in Kakamega.
You know that Sifuna is cheating people. In 10-point agenda, there's nothing like freedom of expression. 10-point agenda doesn't talk about freedom of expression. It talks about equity, it talks about economy, it talks about bringing people together. It doesn't talk about freedom of expression. Freedom of expression, we finished in 1992.
Let's listen to what Sifuna says.
Nasema kitu moja peke yake. Nataka nieleze ni kwa nini Sifuna huyu wenu anaandamwa. Mimi naandamwa kwa kukumbusha William Ruto kwamba uliweka mkataba na baba Raila Amolo Odinga ya kwamba utaheshimu haki za watu kukutana kwa amani jinsi ambavyo tumekutana hapa. Kwa nini unatutupia tear gas? Hiyo si ni kukiuka mkataba na baba? Tuliambia na William Ruto na baba walikubaliana ya kwamba weka hiyo maji chini bwana. Sisi ni wanaume. Wapige wengine kama watapiga. Tuliambia William Ruto mambo ya kuua vijana wetu itakoma. Wameua hawajaua. Tuliambia huyu jamaa awache kuangamiza ugatuzi kule Nairobi. Wamechukua sasa ati Musalia ndio governor wa Nairobi. Si hiyo ni kukandamiza ugatuzi? Makosa yangu kubwa sana. Nimesema kwamba Ruto 2027 lazima aende nyumbani.
Yes, that whatever he's saying is that walikubaliana na baba wakaeka mkataba kuwa wataweza kuheshimu uhuru wa kukutana na sasa hivi tunakutana na mnatutupia tear gas. You see, he is including that amongst the whatever they signed in as part of the agreement, which is the only agreement that you are familiar with that Baba actually signed with William Ruto is the 10-point agenda. That one of them actually was that freedom of assembly and expression and all that. And with this kind of action, he is trying to protest that he is disobeying it.
That is very true. But do you think that there is procedure of assembly? Do we follow such procedures?
Does this one go against the procedure?
Yes, it went against the procedure. Because I remember the regional commander, Kakamega, said he had not been informed about such a function. He only saw it on social media. Get the point? So, and I also even had Sifuna in Senate saying that he would send that notice on the Senate WhatsApp because he knows that Murkomen is still a member of that WhatsApp.
No, it's including. He mentioned that it is going to send that including in that WhatsApp so that there is no excuse.
Exactly. But did he report the officers? He didn't. The officer is on record saying. So, you know, Sifuna is smart. He's only trying to run to our emotions. He's only trying to say things that if he says, people are going to pick very fast.
Yeah, sure.
Even before Raila sat with Ruto, there were assemblies. Some were structural, some were not structural. You get the point? Ruto has nothing to do with stopping Sifuna from having a rally. Sifuna is free to have their rallies, but there must be procedure of having such rallies. But they should not be rallies of witch hunting. They should be rallies that are going to talk to the issues of the people. The speech of Sifuna was almost to a tune of 12 minutes. And in the 12 minutes, you will agree with me that he only took maybe 45 seconds to talk maybe about an issue. The rest of the 11.15 seconds, he was just talking about Abdakadabra. So where are we going to?
So does it mean that the entire Sifuna thing is theatrics?
It is theatrics. It is theatrics.
Is he kind of maybe something that can be improved so that the Kenyans can have a good leader there? Or he is totally misled and is irredeemable?
These are just political factions. There's nothing to build here. These are just political factions. What Sifuna, the likes of Babu and Orenga, are doing, they're just building their bargaining power and positioning themselves best in the political dynamics that we're going to have. So that come 2027, they have a landing point. Get the point? Yes. So they're just positioning themselves. It is not the people. This is these people positioning themselves.
How does a pro-people movement look like?
A pro-people movement is people-initiated, one. Two, it is close to 100% talking about issues of the people. For example, when ODM was formed some time back, it was pro the people because the issues that were talked about were people initiated, not leader initiated. The leader is just to guide. You get the point? This is not people pro people, because if it could have been pro people, I believe something that is pro something, it talks about that thing. It talks about the people. It doesn't talk about yourself. Here Sifuna is telling us kwa nini anaandamwa. Si kwa nini wananchi wapewi maendeleo. You get the difference? So it is not the people, but he's seeking the support of the people because he feels somebody is fighting him. So it is not the people.
Do you think that is treated fairly? Let's say, for example, even in the process towards removal and all that, do you think that Honorable Sifuna has been treated fairly with this sympathy?
Yes. The reason I'm saying he's been treated fairly, you know, Kenya, we have a constitution. But any other thing inside Kenya will form their constitution, cling to the Kenyan constitution. You get the point? So there are certain parts of any organization below Kenyan constitution that cannot talk about certain issues because they are directly talked at the Kenyan constitution. So ODM as a party have its traditions. If you look at how people that have always been disloyal in the party before, they have always left the party. It's just the same way Sifuna was thrown out. And in fact, nobody sacked Sifuna. What happened? Sifuna was told to step aside. In stepping aside, in power and leadership, there is no vacuum. It is replaced immediately. That is why Catherine Omanyo became an acting Secretary General. She's not the Secretary General. We don't have a Secretary General in all.
Was he told to step aside or he was dismissed from his and relieved of his duties as the SG?
Dismissed of his duties. It means ideally he has stepped aside.
Okay. Because stepping aside will mean that you can step aside while still holding the same position. Maybe pending investigation, pending what, stuff like that. Huh?
That is exactly what is happening within the structures of the party. But in the public, he has been sent away. Edwin Sifuna was not sacked.
He hasn't been sacked.
He has not been sacked.
So he's still the SG today.
He's still the SG.
Okay.
But off responsibilities. So a layman is an SG who cannot do any mandate.
For the time being.
For the time being.
Was there a time frame for that? What does the constitution say? As in the constitution of the party now?
There's no time frame.
Indefinite?
Kind of indefinite, because he stepped aside. You know, we have party tribunal and all that. They also need to sit down. They need to check into the issues before they call him.
Most of employers in Kenya today, leave alone now the political parties and all that, most of employers today will write to you first of all and show you the areas of grievance. Then you are given an opportunity to respond. And the first and the second, and there's a warning that might amount now to dismissal later on. In the case of Sifuna, it seems like the summary dismissal.
So who was to write to Sifuna?
NEC.
NEC. Who is Sifuna? Is he a member of NEC?
Yes.
He is a member of NEC. Yes. Do you know how many times Sifuna has been invited to a NEC function and has never made appearance?
No, as I'm writing to somebody, you see, the constitution itself probably, I just envision that maybe I'm trying to look into what actually happens in the ODM constitution. I'm not privy to it. Is that in including those members in the NEC, let's say the party leader errors, there must be a way to deal with that within. Then there might be a physical invitation, which if they dishonor, the letter that is written to them will also reflect onto the whatever invitation that they dishonored. And the reason as to why further actions maybe are supposed to be taken.
That is true.
All those procedures followed before?
Not all were followed, but sometimes, you know, we have political issues that must just be solved politically.
Okay.
Yeah. The Sifuna issues and ODM is political.
Okay.
So sometimes there are political issues that you have to solve politically.
So the political way of solving it is by maybe bending some rules?
Rules are made to be broken. Why do we make rules? Some rules are made to be broken so that we can remake them. And all rules are made by human beings to fit a specific situation.
Do you believe that the ODM team believes that rules are made to be broken?
If they don't believe them, they don't know what are rules. Any other person who understands power dynamics, rules are made to be broken, in reality point of view. Because these rules are made by people. And by the time they are made, most rules are made to fit the present situation. Yes. So at one point, they would not fit such situation. So they will be broken. Then we'll see they don't fit that situation. Then they'll be changed. Why do we change? Why do you think we change constitutions? At one point, the constitution that was changed in 2010 was good for this country. It was changed. Even the 2010 constitution that we have currently, some people still see it as the best. But there are people who are already thinking, no, there are advancements that we need to make. That is why there are amendments of the constitution.
I also think so.
Yes.
But being that there are certain areas to amend in the constitution does not mean that we break whatever we have, because actually that offers a guideline, right?
Sure.
On how we're able to conduct our business of the day before we get a better constitution. Maybe it is good practice for us to make observation of the constitution and express ourselves that we are law-abiding and we're able to protect our own constitution before we even protect the constitution of the land. My view, though. So something else that I would also wish you to weigh in is on now the Mount Kenya politics. How you think it plugs into the national framework, the Gachagua team and the united opposition?
The Mount Kenya politics is at the epicenter of Kenyan politics. You cannot talk about Kenyan politics minus the Mount Kenya politics. The reasons are this. One, politics requires two major resources. The human resource and the capital resource.
Sure.
And we already made it to believe that the Mount Kenya politics surrounds the two. Capital and human resource. Get the point? By the virtue that we've already been made to believe there are numbers from Mount Kenya, you cannot take them out of the equation. They must be there. Number two, it is in the public domain that we have powerhouses in terms of capital people from Mount Kenya. So they still have to be there because they'll still play this politics in terms of providing resources. Number two, Rigathi Gachagua has already positioned himself best to give the Mount Kenya direction. And when he does so, and he has a political party, which at the end of the day will get numbers, therefore, he will still remain part of leadership, governance, and politics of this country. Yes.
So do you think like the Mount Kenya, it was a good thing for him to be impeached in order for him to consolidate that vote on the line?
I separate it. Gachagua was impeached of majorly gross misconduct.
Which are?
One, corruption issues, threats, such things that were amounting to gross misconduct. You know, now gross misconduct is very many things attributed together. Then we say now it is gross misconduct, including corruption, including threats, including failure to go to the office. There are so many things. You get the point? So he was impeached based on leadership. He failed as a leader. Now coming to Mount Kenya, he took the advantage of that impeachment. Then he said, I'm not lost. I can still galvanize my people to be part of the Kenyan politics. And he has done it successfully.
Okay.
Yes.
But him as a person, considering that he was removed from the office, he considered that was an unceremonious. And maybe it was a witch hunt.
How can it be unceremonious? That is a constitutional process. Yes. You know, an impeachment need not to be ceremonious. Ceremonious removal is maybe when people are having parties, weddings. That is when we have ceremonious removals. But this one is a constitutional process. It needs not to be ceremonial. We just need to follow the process of removing you and following or checking if you qualify to be removed. Yes, it is not. It needs not to be ceremonial.
Do you believe that one of those reasons were corruption? And do you think that the government also believed the same?
From my perspective, yes.
Why has he not been prosecuted?
You know, Gachagua, look at the history of Gachagua. Before Uhuru Kenyatta left office, at one point, Gachagua was taken to courts of issues money.
The courts acquitted him.
After he got to power.
But to see at the end of the day.
From my end, I feel proximity to power gave him advantage. You get the point? If you could be very far from power, I don't think that could be thrown out. You know, there are certain times that your proximity to power gives you a lot of advantages in terms of influencing power. Because it is common sense. Even if I could be Gachagua, my proximity to power is so close, and I have a case in court, I can influence so that I can be acquitted. But it doesn't mean that I wasn't corrupt. It was said a number of times when the brother of Gachagua died, who was a governor in Nyeri. What happened with the family? I don't come from Nyeri. I'm not part of that family. But what was said, he took everything from the family, left the family there. But remember, you are a deputy president, leave alone even the issue family. You're a deputy president. One, you're talking about the government is shares. We have shares in government. That those who supported us need to be served first. Is that a priority in terms of getting resources of a country? When we're collecting tax, we're collecting tax as Kenyans, not as those that supported this government or did not support this government. When we are giving appointments to persons who are supposed to get into positions, it is not based on if you supported us or not. It's based on qualifications and can you serve the interest of the people. You're just a custodian of that office, majorly to serve the people. Yes.
So you believe like with those sentiments, the Mtego and the shares and all that, that really was enough grounds to have him removed from office?
It amounts to.
Okay.
Because it was not only one issue. All these issues independently, they look quite small. But now when they're brought together, we say it amounts to. You get the point? Yes. Just like the same way somebody can have HIV and AIDS. But we have opportunistic diseases that at the end of the day will kill you. But malaria alone sometimes might not kill you because of your immunity. But now malaria is there, TB is there, you have Oma, you also have that HIV and AIDS, you die very fast.
Yeah.
Yes. So all these issues, they are mounted to what now I call gross misconduct.
Yes, sure.
Yes.
So in your view, he became not worthy of holding that high office?
No. He was not worthy.
Do you think Kindiki is?
Kindiki is worthy. Why am I saying so? Who is a deputy president? A deputy president is a principal assistant to the president. Because they are elected in one ticket, the presidency. A deputy president needs to help the president, who is the vision bearer of a country, to achieve the vision they have, only if that vision is to help the people. And in my view, I'm seeing Kindiki doing that. Because occasionally I've seen the president send Kindiki to functions that are talking about issues of the people, agriculture, for example. So I feel in comparison, Kindiki and Gachagua, Kindiki is better. But that doesn't mean that there's no other Kenyan who can fit in that position. There are so many Kenyans who can even do better at the position of the deputy president than Kindiki. But Kindiki and Gachagua, Kindiki is far much better than Gachagua. Kindiki brings unity. Kindiki brings people together. Kindiki is not looking at government as a company where they have shareholding. Yes.
It is a former advocate for the president during the Hague case. Huh? Do you think he can oppose or maybe just reject an instruction that might in one way or the other violate the constitution when the president? Do you think he has that muscle?
Yes, he has that muscle to reject. You need to ask yourself, who is Kindiki before the deputy president position?
Still an appointee.
In relation to Ruto?
Still an appointee, and has always been appointed to something and maybe just done it diligently without asking questions.
He has been a lawyer, yes?
Yes.
He has represented Ruto a number of times.
Yes.
It means that in terms of representing Ruto, he has been guiding Ruto on Ruto's issues. When he becomes Ruto's deputy president, he can still guide Ruto. When he fails, Ruto is taking a direction that is not right. Because he has been directing Ruto, and Ruto has been following. That is why the cases that they have been having with Ruto, as much as not all of them they have succeeded, but a number they have. So still, he can be deputy president and still act as a guider or advisor to the president in terms of legal matters which will be touching on the constitution.
Do you think that he, as an advocate and a senior counsel for that matter, do you think he advised him on this takeover by Mudavadi for the gubernatorial responsibilities of the county?
Sakaja.
The recent signing where Sakaja has ceded certain roles into the...
Do you know, in my view, legally, there's no problem with that issue. Politically, there are a lot of issues. Legally, there's no problem. Okay. The national government and the county government, they are interdependent. And Nairobi County is not like any other county. This is Nairobi City County. You get the point? There are a lot of things that the national government and the city county have in common. So sometimes when it is hard, the situation is hard for the county government to do certain activities, it must run to the central government. So in this position, what informed Sakaja, or the governor of Nairobi City, to give some responsibilities to central government? The issue is resource. They believe the national government has all the muscles to ensure that these things work best. In other words, the county government did not have the capacity because of the underlying factors which I might not be privy to presently. Yes, but it is not going against the law. It is not the first time it is happening. It has happened before. You look at even before the 2010 constitution, you look at even before devolution, we had Nairobi mayor and we had the president. They were working very closely because remember, the offices, most offices, executive offices of the national government is within the county of Nairobi. So how then is Nairobi County going to work in separation with the national government?
Okay. What I wonder is, because this is the county government and this is the national government, and both of them are supposed to work in sync in the benefit of the people.
Yes.
Not the national government actually should work not only for Nairobi but for the entire other counties as well. Why don't you just ask for help and you as the county government continue to be the county government? Why do you have to cede the roles to the side?
You know, if the issues are in the county government and the county government cannot succeed in ensuring that they serve the people, then they can concede this responsibility. It is there in the constitution. You are allowed to do it. You get the point? Because
but only with the public participation.
Yeah, public participation needs to be there.
It wasn't done in this.
So the disagreement is on the process, not the action. The action has nothing to do with going against the constitution, but the process would be wrong. When you talk about the process, I can agree, because there was no public participation. You get the point? But the actual thing, there's no problem with the actual activity, but the process that is taking us to that activity might not be right. Yes.
When we look at the ceding of the certain roles to metropolitan government in Uhuru's regime, we can see even just the pavements that we can see that have been structured with military precision and such kind of things. What do we expect as benefit from this? The pavements and the curb roads that you see, you can compare whatever Sakaja did and whatever the previous national NMS.
We now have three groups here. We have Sakaja's governor of Nairobi. We have an MS that was working under Uhuru regime. Then we have now Ruto's government that has taken some roles from Sakaja. So, you want to compare now these three people.
It's just almost the same for actually what has happened. That key duties have been given to someone else away from the governor of Nairobi to conduct. The same thing that General Mbadi was given the same. But we saw what he did with it. What are we expecting with this now that has been ceded recently?
We are expecting much better.
What exactly is it?
One, General Mbadi is part of which government?
He was a general that actually was brought in to salvage a scenario situation that was
From
coming.
which government? National government.
Yeah.
Yes. So this time, Sakaja has given some responsibilities to the executive. You get the point? But we've been not told who is going to do that responsibility. It could be another general.
Mudavadi is in charge.
Mudavadi is in charge, but that doesn't mean that he cannot work with other generals.
Okay.
He's the boss up there, but he can give now responsibilities. Can supervise.
Okay.
So we are expecting a lot in terms of making Nairobi city better.
Do we expect like the cows we are seeing along City Stadium will not be there anymore? Do we expect the sewage around Mudhurwa will not be there anymore? Do we expecting the drainage systems to be improved?
One, we are expecting the drainage system to be improved. We are expecting, as it is even continuing along River Nairobi, to be nice. Get the point? We are expecting settlement and arrangement of the city to be better. We are expecting now Nairobi CBD to be a CBD, not a hawking, crowded CBD. You get the point? A CBD that has structures, a CBD that has order. You know, at one point, Sakaja wanted to organize the CBD, but there was a lot of politics within the city that he could not survive. So if I look at it objectively, if things remain constant, we are going to expect a lot. It's only that planning can be made, then along the way, things will change. But I'm seeing a city that is better in terms of order, in terms of cleanliness, in terms of how operations are happening.
Okay.
Yes.
So with this kind of agreement that have been reached in, it's going to motivate more action that the common mwananchi is able to benefit even more.
Yes.
Okay. Still in Nairobi, maybe I could just want to just get a little off. Why is the areas around Mudhurwa so dirty? Yet it has a proximity to the CBD, the central district.
One, Mudhurwa is crowded. And the little observation I've made with Mudhurwa, there is some kind of entitlement.
No, not the market, just
Mudhurwa and even around it.
Yeah.
There's some kind of entitlement and even being crowded. So once there's entitlement, people don't always allow other divergent opinions in terms of how operations take place in such environments. So people who are entitled to such areas would feel, no, we need to do it like we want it. So let us do it.
Is it part of the role of the county government to ensure that even that area is clean?
Yes, it is.
Who owns those cows that move around City Stadium?
Privately, I don't know. I don't know who owns those cows. I just think they're private cows of different people.
Okay. Do you think that the Ruto's regime should know who owns them, and they should maybe the city is supposed to have some order?
Yeah, Ruto's regime need to know who owns those cows, and they need to be ordered. And I think it is one of the reasons that now we should be celebrating that the city will be orderly and organized.
So that's some of the things we're supposed to expect.
Yeah, we should be expecting such in terms of order, not specifically the cows, but order. You know, the cows might not be taken out of the city, but if things are better, though I don't know, this is just my thinking.
Where should they be in the city?
A section can be made that this is a secluded place that now we don't want to see anything but cows. That can still be order. But that doesn't mean that now all cows cannot be within Nairobi City County. Because cows are part of human beings, they are domesticated animals. So we can design other ways through which the cows still be within the city, but they don't bring disorderness in the city. It's not about just taking the cows out of the city, but ensuring that we coexist as social creatures, even within this city.
Okay, maybe I can ask it this way. Let's say, for example, I had some money and I went and bought the entire of Mbotela. Can I start using that land for maybe irrigation and such farming and such kind of things, such kind of an environment? Maybe some mananasi, I want to do maize farming there.
No, you can't just do it that way.
What makes it different from the cows?
In this way, you know, anything that you're going to do within the city, you don't survive in this city alone. You have people that lives around you. And a city also has what is called planning that was made way back.
Yeah.
Each environment or each area has what the planners of the city needed to be there so that we can have a vision of the city in years to come. So your operations within the city must be guided following the script that is there, the planning that was there before. So you cannot just come to the city because you bought a piece of land, now you want to do it like you want. That is why if you go around where the militaries are, it is important that there is some height that you need to build your house, but still hiyo ni shamba lako. So you must be guided in some environments. Yes. So you cannot just go and buy some place, then you say, mimi nataka kufanya irrigation hapo.
And I think that guidance will extend to cows commuting around the city.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, which
yes.
you agree is wrong.
I agree it is wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything that maybe you feel like we are leaving out, and that you feel like maybe we could have been better if we touched on it?
Only one thing.
Yes, sure.
About the youth and the young people of this country. I think it is the time that the young people need to take a decision in terms of where do we want to go to. Because you realize people who are not the youth but want to take that would really influence the youth to have a feeling that we don't have leadership. We are tribeless. We are not part of any party. So that at the end of the day, we end the game when we are confused. I would advise the young people moving forward, we must now decide and take sides. Look at an environment that envision what you want as a young man or as a young woman. Then pick that path. Where you feel, if I follow at the end of the day, I'm going to find an opportunity at the end, I'm going to find a government, I'm going to find a leadership that resonate well with what I need, what I think of good leadership and governance. Or, as the young people, we can decide and come together and we design a path that can take us to leadership. Because at the end of the day, this struggle is not this abracadabra. The struggle here is power and leadership. So, the youthful generation, we have what we see as leadership. We have what we see as good governance. In getting that good leadership and governance, we must do two major things. We must register as voters.
Sure.
After registering as voters, we must agree and decide and participate in a democratic process, elections. To get leadership, or the young people in leadership who will be fighting for the youthful interest at the lens of leadership, not at the lens of the streets. So I would really advise the young people, let us leave this issue of we are tribeless, whatever less. This one is delaying us. We are going to get to 2027 when we are all confused and we are going to be used as goons, we are going to be used as hooligans, and we are not going to get what we need to get at the end of the day. Yes.
Thank you so much, Bwana Omondi Oloo, for your time, and that's what a great analysis.
Thank you.
Thank you.